Hi everyone, I'm Rob Franick. I'm editor-in-chief here at the Princeton Review, back with you today to discuss a topic that has likely been on your minds, certainly our minds at the Princeton Review. The topic today is the AP submission issues that were reported on just last week. We're going to fine-tune them today. I'm going to cover 4 different topics. Number 1, the number of students who were actually able to complete their May administration of their AP exams. And spoiler alert, folks, the College Board's initial percentage painted a far rosier picture than many of you actually experienced. Number 2, the process of requesting makeups. When will you actually find out if your makeup exam was granted? Number 3, June testing dates for the AP. Just how many students are actually going to be taking those AP tests in June? We're going to talk about it in granularity. Number 4, specifically how students are finding ingenious ways to verify that their tests are being received and scored. And at the end, we're going to pork belly all this stuff together, and we're going to talk about what all of these things mean for the future of online standardized tests. I'm glad you joined us today, folks. As always, if you'd like to share with us any of your test-taking experiences, please leave us a comment directly here on our YouTube channel for this video. And again, as we've asked in the past, do not comment on the content of your AP exam, only on the test-taking process that you went through. Now, with all that said, as you probably know and may unfortunately have experienced already, AP testing did not get off to a great start, and many students reported having issues submitting their answers during that first week of testing. And that resulted in the College Board, all things creators of AP, instituting a backup submission option for the second week of testing, whereby students who had difficulty submitting through the standard process were able to send in their answers via a unique email address that the College Board provided just for them. Now, the recourse, of course, didn't actually help test takers who encountered those technical difficulties during the first week of AP testing, but it was available for students during that second week of testing, and it will once again become available for students during those makeup AP exams, and that start date is June 1st. So, if you were one of those thousands of students who had trouble submitting their AP exams during that first week, folks, we feel for you, and we hope that there's at least some minor solace in knowing that should you experience similar issues during the June makeup exams, that you'll be able to email your responses directly to the College Board as a backup. But how many students exactly were in that situation? The answer, folks, is a lot, and I'm going to sharpen it. It's more than the College Board had initially reported. So let's walk down this not-so-distant memory lane. You'll recall on May 13th that the College Board tweeted that more than 99% of students successfully submitted their AP exam responses on the previous day. Now, the College Board has since released more comprehensive data about how many students who began their AP exams were actually able to complete those same AP exams. And the data suggests that 99% figure that they had reported out before wasn't quite accurate. Now, there's a link directly to those statistics on the College Board's website in this video description on YouTube, so check it out yourself. But folks, let's talk specifically about that previous day that the College Board tweeted about. That date, again, was May 12th. It turns out that more than 99% of students who began their AP exams that day did not, in fact, successfully complete and submit those exams. On that day, the exams in the following areas were given: Latin, Calculus AB and BC, and Human Geography. Now, in total, 639,044 students got to set up their workspaces and log in and start taking their exam that day. But folks, just over 571,000 of those students actually completed their exam. Now, friends, that is nearly 68,000 students who did not complete their exams. Surprise, surprise, we did the not so hard math on this one, and that's not, as the College Board noted, more than 99% were able to successfully submit their exam. It is a whopping 89% of students who started their exams were actually able to submit them successfully. And I'm going to sharpen this on the Calculus AB exam. The percentage of students who began but did not complete the exam is a whopping 14% according to the College Board's own data. Now, overall, across the board, from May 11th, the start of the first AP exam, to May 21st, just a smidge above 7% of AP exam test takers who started to take their test did not complete those exams. And we acknowledge that 7% may not seem like a high percentage by way of percentage as they go, but that translates, folks, into 300,000 exams. Folks, this is a lot to ingest, and we understand it, but we need to acknowledge these statistics. And honestly, let's move on to our next topic because it's a meaty one as well. Now, if you were one of those students who needed to take a makeup exam, the College Board had initially said that makeups had to be requested within a 48-hour window of your exam time. But then, over the weekend, on May 23rd, the College Board tweeted that they were reopening the makeup exam request for any AP student who tested and didn't successfully submit their answers, even if that 48-hour window had closed. Now, that gave students until 6 p.m. Eastern Time the following day, May 24th. Now, folks, to put this all in context, the announcement from the College Board came out on the Saturday of a holiday weekend, on the same day that the Eid celebrations started happening around the globe. And folks, this was not, in our opinion at the Princeton move, a move that would ensure that all students could actually request a makeup exam if they needed one. And we sincerely hope that if you wanted to take that makeup exam, that your request made it in and you're able to do so. And if you did request a makeup exam, the College Board has promised to send you an email by the end of this week, specifically letting you know if your request was approved. Now, the basis on which College Board has said that they'll approve makeup exam requests are few: technical disruptions during your previous exam, sickness, of course, interruptions by family members, battery failures, and overall power outages. Now, folks, if you're like us at the Princeton Review, and I suspect that many of you are, you're likely wondering just how many students will actually be taking those makeup exam. Now, at our best guess, based on available data, for starters, and as we just talked about 300,000 exams were begun but not completed during the May exam dates. Now, we are very interested to see how many of those students requested and are granted makeup exams. In addition, there will be a not so small number of student test takers sitting for those June administrations, sitting for those AP exams, folks, the first time ever. Now, while the vast majority of students who registered for AP exams actually tested in May, nearly 5 million exams were registered for, and that means that even if only a small percentage can equal a lot of students. So, let us remind ourselves also that nearly 610,000 exams were never even begun for those May administration. So when we think about those numbers all together, it is possible for that total number of students taking those June AP exams, it could top the 900,000 mark. And that is likely a maximum number. And of course, it'll likely be lower based on a couple of factors. Number one, requests by the College Board that were not approved, students who decided to opt out and not retest at all, and of course, students who are unable to retest because of varying scheduling conflicts. So folks, we have to, again, now consider that for many of you who think that you successfully submitted your AP exams back in May, this week may feel like you're in limbo and you're pretty sure that you're all set and that everything was submitted appropriately, but you'd likely feel way, way better when you actually knew for sure that your AP exams were received and are now being scored. And folks, this is where teacher copies come in. At the start of this whole process, the College Board had said that they'd be sending copies of students' exams to their teachers. Now, the point of that exercise, as we understand it from the College Board, was in part to help ensure that if a student was submitting work that was not their own, their teacher would then be able to recognize it and flag it. But here's the irony. That system, which as we had noted was put in place to help keep students honest, is now something that students are turning to keep the College Board itself honest. Friends, you actually can't make this stuff up. Honestly, if you did, it would sound too cartoonish. But we are hearing reports directly from students checking in with their teachers to find out if those teachers received their exam copies of their AP exams. Those students are looking for that proof so that they can breathe a needed sigh of relief and truly understand the fact that their AP exams are actually done for the 2020 year. And if you are one of those students, then there are a good bit of news coming directly to you. Teachers started to receive those exam responses on May 26th. So if you can stand to wait just a little bit, our team at the Princeton Review urged you to give your teachers just a minute. Many of them are balancing any number of different tasks and demands on their time, including, of course, teaching classes remotely. But folks, the information is now available, and in due time, you should be able to review your responses with your teachers even before you get your scores back from the College Board itself. And of course, this need to confirm that your teachers received your AP exam is an inversion of what the teacher copies were supposed to prove. And if you're counting on your teacher copies for that reassurance that your test was received and is actually being scored, then folks, we are deeply impressed here at the Princeton Review by your ingenuity, and we are also deeply and importantly disappointed that you've had to MacGyver your way through all of this to seek this reassurance. But folks, bravo to you. Now, as we had promised at the beginning, what does all of this actually mean for the possible future of remote testing? Folks, here's the silver lining, and honestly, it's kind of good news. Here's what I mean. The College Board said that in the fall, the SAT, created by the College Board, would be offered no matter what. Now, if it's unsafe from a public health perspective to administer the SAT exams in testing centers in a face-to-face environment, the SAT will be given remotely. So should that need to happen, the AP exams will be a truly instructive dry run. And honestly, folks, AP exams are harder tests to give in many respects. First of all, more AP exams are administered than SAT tests. About 2.1 million students in the class of 2019 actually took the SAT. That's less than half the number of AP exams given in a typical year. Add that to the fact that the SAT is only one single test, whereas the AP exams consist of 38 distinct tests. And of course, AP exams were all free response questions this year, where the SAT is largely a multiple choice test. Now finally, the AP exams, the College Board learned, we suspect, lots of things along the way over the last few weeks, including instituting that backup email submission option that we just walked you through. And these lessons, folks, will benefit future online test takers, you guys. So we should understand that there are many reasons to expect that the SAT, if administered online, would look more like the GRE or the GMAT at-home test more than they're ever going to look like AP exams. And folks, that is good news. The overall point that our team wants you to take away is that we hope that you won't be spending too much time worrying about future online exams. Just as you're getting better with learning online and taking tests online, test makers are also getting better at administering those online exams at home. So please know, friends, as we've talked about in these last videos, we are so proud of you for your perseverance and your resilience and certainly your dedication, which honestly is going to serve you really well as a college student and well beyond. And of course, thanks so much for watching these videos. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, we are reporting on the daily issues that affect exams and admission and financial aid and testing and a whole lot more. And please do leave us a comment if you have a question, and I will try our level best to answer them in future videos. Of course, friends, we'll see you back here tomorrow. I'm Rob Franek, Editor-in-Chief here at the Princeton Review. Take care.